Welcome, welcome to this gathering. I have been looking forward to this moment. I'm personally very excited about discovering you, and I'm sure that you are too. I mean, you're on this call and you're here at this time. Definitely, you are excited about this, and you really can't wait for all the goodies that are contained in this program. So, really, thank you so much for registering. Thanks for coming around, right? Thanks for your presence and thanks for being here to grace this event. So, briefly, we'd like to do some introductions. I'm sure that we have very amazing persons on this meeting at the moment. And trust me, you are in for a very amazing ride. So, we'd like to meet you. My name is Esther. My name is Esther Additional, and I'm currently studying at Lautech in Ogbomoso. So, please, can I get to know you? We have we have about 20% on the call already. So please we'd like to get to know the amazing person on this call. Please can you introduce yourself in the chat box, your name, where you are listening from, what you do if you want to share, and why you are here for this program. So let's do that quickly. Please, if you want to talk, you can unmute your mic, but if you're not, please
Any girlfriend will come up.
Please let me my all right. Thank you. Okay, so waiting for introduction. Like yes, let me start from uh,
All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. We are so sorry for the network. So our moderator, she's having issues with our network. All right. So what we are going to do right now is that we are moving straight to the speech of the convener, and that is what I will be doing right now. So please, I want to be sure if I can be heard.
Good
I can
evening,
hear
sir.
you.
I hear you loud and clear.
Please, can I be heard?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear, sir.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much for listening. So, to my speech, as a young guy on campus, when I gained admission 2018, 2019 to 2020, and as a young guy, I was on campus. I have a lot of questions on my mind, looking for people to ask. I mean, looking for people that can just show me through, help me so as to at least reduce my error rate. And then people I can just walk to anytime I have issues and challenges, because I realize that on campus, I mean, it is very easy for somebody that is, everything you are doing is just growing, reading your books, and then going to church. If that is all you are doing, it's very easy to find yourself on the negative side. What I mean by that is that the environment and the campus is flawed on many levels. You have a lot of people that they are communicating nuisance value with confidence, and they are not aware. So it's very easy to carry you along, and then before you know, you tag along, you want to be like them. And then once someone is able to hack the part and do the parts, those are the people that they are gaining traction, and those are the people that you really want to move and associate yourself with. And those are the things that I struggle with throughout my 100 level days, and which made it so difficult for me to really bring out something very tangible out of it, except like academics. So academically, I'm okay, but apart from that, the rest I'm struggling with. Looking for people to ask and then to answer my questions, it was really so difficult for me that time. So, and this was actually born in May, and then 200 level, I began to try to find a way, and then because I was so intentional, I began to associate myself with some friends, to move with some seniors too, and I began to question everything around me, travel as much as possible, try to find how to navigate, and then try to question, and then try to see, try to find things out, because I realized that I realized that
mi ò fẹ́ kí nǹkan tí mo lọ fọ́nrán mi gbọ̀n ṣé mo wù nígbà tí mo délé àbí mi ò rí.
All right, so I'm sorry, I'm trying to mute some people that they refuse to mute their microphone. Okay, so as I was saying, as a young guy, it was so difficult for me, and by the time with the little answer I was able to get, I really want. All right, so I'm sorry, I was just trying to mute some people that refused to mute their mic. So I was trying to say that so as a young guy, when I was able to like get some answers to some of the questions that was bothering me, and then with a lot of struggles and being intentional and traveling, so I don't want other people to also face the challenges. And I know that there are a lot of people that were also in my category too, that they were also facing the same thing. Like, look, they have different questions in their mind, no one was there to answer. And so because of what I faced, I mean, I can only say I understand what I'm talking about. Like I faced a lot, man, to get a lot of answers, to get answers to everything. It was so difficult. And I realized that the earliest investment that has to be made is to get people to know who they are, so that they can use the knowledge of who they are to direct their affairs, so that they can know what they should come near and what they should not come near, so that they can know what they should invest their time, energy, and resources on. If this is not, if when identity is lost, I mean, there are a lot of things that you won't be able to handle. There's a limit to how you can express yourself. And of course, you are going to diligently, determinedly incubate your conviction. The conviction, because there are a lot of options that will be before you every time to test your clarity about who you are, to test your clarity about what you believe so well. So, and this is part of the reason why we try as much as possible to, first of all, work towards this event, to make sure that at least if some people will be able to get answers to some of their questions, and our speaker is here also to give answers to many questions. And I believe that by the time we'll be done, there are a lot of things like practical steps that we'll be able to go back with. And also during the panel section as well, I am so sure and convinced that by the time we were given the opportunity to ask questions, some people that they have also walked a journey. The truth is that no one can actually journey your journey. The journey that is ahead, the people of today, is almost insensitive to template. What I mean by that is that when you are walking on a path that has no signpost, you still have to journey anyway. So that in that way, the only thing you can just do is that you have to remain accountable to some people that have journeyed a particular journey and they are still on the journey, and their journey or the value that they represent, it's like associated with the type of thing that you also want to represent. And then the value that they represent is unlocking gratitude and in the heart of society and their community. So this is what we actually stand for. So thank you so much for listening to me. So we'll proceed, and I will have our moderator can continue from here. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, thank you so much for that very insightful welcome speech. If you're like me and you're already gaining so much, I mean, that was very, very insightful. Thanks for sharing your story, and I'm glad that we are learning already. And thanks for this opportunity, right? Thanks for bringing us all together to learn about our identity. We really appreciate your efforts and commitments. Thank you. All right, so we are proceeding in today's program, and I'm sure that you're very much excited for the next part of the program. So we'll be moving ahead to the keynote speech for today. All right, but just before I invite our speaker, I would like to quickly read a short bio about him. Okay, so Daniel Olubumi is an alumnus of the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He's a licensed physiotherapist who has worked in both the private and public healthcare system. He's a media influencer, public and TV speaker, and passionate about leadership. He's the co-founder at Health Better Limited, Nigeria's emerging corporate-focused physical health services and consulting outfit aimed at prioritizing workplace health. Daniel has been featured on different platforms and is a recipient of multiple awards, including the LRS Excellence Awards under the Health category. Currently an intern at the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Complex. He is the former head of operations OAU events and co-organizer Building Beyond Ife 2021. And he's the director of communications at the Royal African Media Outreach, a subsidiary of the global outreach of His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife. Ladies and gentlemen, can we make welcome Mr. Daniel Olubumi? Please go on the chat box, type welcome, send in emojis, clap, and welcome him. You are in for a life-changing moment and on a journey to discover your identity. Thank you so much, sir. We are glad to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Esther. I believe you can all hear me. All right. Thank you very much. Please, I believe that I would not take much of our time as I have another meeting by 8. So, however, I want to really appreciate Mr. Olufemi Amusa. Thank you very much for the invite, and well done on the great work you are doing in your space. And to all the team members, well done, big well done. And for all our participants, from wherever you are listening, thank you very much for joining. And I hope that with these few minutes I'll be sharing, and we'll be able to learn one or two things. Thank you very much. So we'll just go straight to the point. I have 30 minutes. I believe I shouldn't spend more than 20 minutes. I can leave 10 minutes for questions and answers because I have another meeting by 8 p.m. So, all right, so I was asked, so the theme of this webinar is discovering you. And basically, our focus is identity. And also, I think I would like to recognize some people I know on this meeting. I think I'm very familiar with a lot of people. I can see Puri Zoguleke, I can see and these people have actually I know. I can see Oluwafikemi Ogunbi. I can see. I saw Precious. I don't know, probably your network. So yeah, Dumomi Drojaye, our leader in Ifugsa. It's really nice. Then who else do I know here? All right, all of you are welcome. Thank you very much. So I'll just go straight to the point. So I believe that a lot of us have heard we've heard about discovering you, we've heard about identity in different platforms. And I would not want to bore us with speeches, with motivations, perspectives, aspire. I would just like to use my experience, my process of evolving. I would just like to use that with respect to this webinar. And I will just share practical life lessons and practical experiences. So I think I started when I got admission into OAU. I never knew I was going to study physiotherapy. Even I never knew I was going to I never knew what physiotherapy was until when I got admission. Everybody wants to study medicine, everybody wants to study law, everybody wants to be in engineering, civil engineering, computer engineering, anything tech, you understand. When I was admitted into the Department of Medical Rehabilitation OAU. At least I was okay. I'm in the College of Health Sciences. It's fine. But most of us were lost in my 100 level. And we're just there because at least we've gotten admission, so it's good. So we moved on. The 100 level was just the starting point. So then in my pattern, even before I got admission, I noticed that I had a flair for leadership. I've always risen up to the capacity of a leader everywhere I go, everywhere I find myself. So I was just, it was not what's it called? No, it was not forced. It was more like who I am, basically. I just find myself doing something I never knew I never knew it was basically it was going to leadership, but I just knew that I like creating solutions to problems anywhere I am. So from my 100 level to 200 level, and even though I was still lost in my 200 level, I was doing a lot of things on campus. I knew I wanted to make impacts. I knew I wanted to add value to people. So I knew I wanted to raise a community. I knew I wanted to be a force. I wanted to be what's it called now? I wanted to make impact, basically. But I was not sure how I was going to do that. So a lot of us at the early stage of our stay on campus, we're doing a lot of things. At least we're volunteering for events. We're making sure that at least we're adding to the community. So while in my 100 level, I volunteered for a lot of events. I volunteered for a lot of. I also I contested for political positions on campus and all. And So I get to understand that success is what everybody wants. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to make impact. Everybody wants to add value. Everybody wants to make a name for himself. But we tend to not. How will I explain this? We tend to not realize a lot of things. So we just want to be in the spotlight, but then we don't want to go through the process. So, and I learned from one of my mentors that for you to succeed, like you have to answer 5 questions. And I definitely that you might have heard about these questions, even though you may not be able to provide like answer. One is who I am, which provide answers to the questions of identity. Because where am I from? Answers to the questions of your source. Does not even have anything to do. Who am I? This is the first one. Then where am I from? Then the third one, why am I here? Why was I conceived? Why was I born? The fourth one, what can I do? Which answers to the questions of the potential that you have, your capabilities, your capacity. What am I capable of? What is your true power? So you have to struggling with the issue of self-identity. That's why most of us we are other people. So we put on other people's identity to feel important, and that's why, like, I noticed that when I was in my 300 level, 400 level, like I had a lot of friends who were doing very well, like they were doing excellently well, but I was just there. I was just doing my own thing, At the same time, like peer pressure happens that, you're asking like, this guy is doing very well. Why are you not doing so? So, and I tell people, once you start getting envious of the other person, you will get lost. Especially when you don't understand your primary assignment, when you don't understand your identity, why you are who you are. So you have to understand, you have to know your identity, like what's your primary assignment. So you don't have to like, because my friend is doing this before, because my friend is doing this, and so I should also do something like that. It's not done that way. You get frustrated along the way. So, like I said, so the average human is still struggling with self-identity because we have no identity. So we try to keep with other people's ties, with other people's processes. We want to be like them, we want to be like them exactly. So, and we get lost every time that we look like other people. And it's a sign that it's a sign that we're actually battling with this question like I initially stated. So you have to own your own faith. You have to like own your own identity. You have to understand yourself, what works for you. Why do you think you are in Lautech? Why do you think you're in OAU? Why do you think you are in UI or any other universities that you're currently in? So why do you think you are born in Nigeria? Why do you think you are born in National State or wherever states? Or why do you think you're in the UK? Why do you think you're in the US? So you have to give answers to those questions yourself. Sit down and so that's why so most times when we look at some people up there and we say, you are doing very well, you are doing very well. Yeah, it's actually good to admire people, but at the same time we need to understand ourselves. What like I said, what can you do? What do you think you can do? What's your own true power? What are your capacities? What am I capable of doing? And in that capacity, develop capacity in such area. Develop, add value yourself. I was telling some people some few weeks ago that now they say, okay, yeah, it's good to envy, it's good to admire a lot of people. But you can't keep rushing after them, especially these celebs that you see around. You can't keep going after them. Number one, if you don't add any value to them, they will not look for you. They will not, in fact, because life is all about mutual. So you have to give to the person. You also have to give it to the person. So once you are the one like getting more from the person will not even remember you. So as much as possible, we should also like develop capacity on our such that people will look after you. People would run after you. You understand? So also, like, I will just proceed. So, and then a lot of people are living below their ability. What can you do? What's your true ability? And I was also telling some people, say like everybody wants to successful. Everybody wants to make, like I said in the beginning of this webinar, I said everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to succeed. And success is predictable. You know that person will succeed in life. When you see some guys on campus, this one will succeed in life. This one, and at the same time, failure is also predictable. You can just already on when somebody is already failing. You can predict if a person will fail before they fail. It actually, because life is designed that way. You can sometimes you can also predict failure. So what I am today, I decided to become. I'm not blaming anyone for my current state. So also you should stop blaming people for your current state in life. Whatever you are today, you decide to become. Nobody puts it there. You understand? So, and whatever you are right now, you decide to be. So whatever you decided is what you are. And I would not want to separate the factor of God from identity, because there's a relationship between both. So the success of everything, that God created protects God's reputation. I will explain. I discovered that God created people. God created man to succeed. He designed man to succeed, and our success was in His best interest. And I will explain why. Every product that a manufacturer makes, he puts his name on it. Your shoe, your phone, your iPad, your car, your suits, your trousers, everything has a name on it. A car, Toyota Camry, Rolls Royce, Venza, everything has a name on it. And the name on it, the symbol on it, the logo of Toyota Camry, the logo of Toyota Nissan, the logo of Benz, of Mercedes-Benz, is called an image. And when the manufacturer finishes the product, the last thing they put on the product is the name, is the image. So they only put a name on the products when it is finished. Just like your mobile device, your mobile phone. Your mobile phone was finished before they even sold it. So, and no product ever leaves the manufacturer's industry until it has been tested to make it, to make sure that it's working. And after that, they put, the logo of your phone, probably Samsung on an iPhone or a Techno, and after, the name on it. They are so sure that it can work, that they put on top of it what did they call this book? Yes, a book inside the carton. So they provide a book. The book in the carton, like in the package, provides a lot of information about it. And it always have like 2 words on it. You have the warranty, and I believe that most of us don't even know. You have the warranty or a guarantee. These 2 words are very different. The warranty means that we put our entire company behind this product, that if anything goes wrong, if any defect exists, if it doesn't work, we have a warranty that you can ship it back to us. We pay for it, for shipping, and we pay it at our expense. We will replace it brand new for you, at our expense, and we'll pay to get the product back to you. So, and now even we buyers, the consumers, we don't even know about these things, So why I wouldn't know if why would we spend all of the money for us to ship the product back to them at their expense. And this is because like none of that is about us. None of that is about the consumer. None of that is about the buyer. But they are sending it back to you at their own expense. They do that for themselves, for their namesake. They're basically trying to protect their reputation. So in other words, the success of their products protects their reputation because they put their name on it. So when God decided to create a product called man, God tested man before he put his image. And that's why the first thing God said was actually the last thing. He said, I'm actually sorry, I have to become religious right now, but it's inevitable. So the first thing God said is actually the last thing he said. He said, like, let's make man, and we will put on him and our image. So you did not begin when God created you. God has already created you. And so we need to understand our identity. So like I was saying in my 300 level, I think I started realizing a lot of things. I started understanding things about life, how I needed to understand why I am on campus. And I started understanding what my true power is, what my true capacity is. And like I said, I had a lot of people that were doing very well. They are doing very well at that time, even till now. But I believe that, like I said, peer pressure was a lot of factors that actually like affect a lot of young AIs, because you see one other person is doing very well, so you want to copy the other person. Why not just sit down and develop capacity on your own? If you actually into photography, you are into writing, you are into anything, social media management, you are into tech, why not just develop yourself? Other than so understanding one's identity is very important. And like I have talked about developing capacity, I've talked about, trying to, I've talked about understanding oneself. So I would just say that, okay, identity is defined as who you are. It's what makes you who you are, what makes you unique. Like so, and still this can be hard to understand because many of us are still learning who we are each day. Even someone who has actually who's getting closer to his peak is also learning. So all of us are learning every day. I'm also learning every day. I'm learning, and I'm learning to become more of myself. I know I'm still in the process of my becoming. You understand? So everybody's still learning. And people may call us things like unpopular. They may also call us nice things like like pretty, or probably we are good at sport or anything. But God says these things are not who we are. Other people do not choose our identity. God chooses our identity for us, and He tells us who we are. Like I said, we are made in the image of God, and this is who you are to the very core. And no matter what you like about yourself or you don't like about yourself, your identity is in God. So we need to know what we are capable of. I've said that already. We need to know our true abilities. What are your skills? What are you capable of doing? Can you write? Do you think you have a flair for writing? Do you think you have a flair for photography? Do you think you have a flair for video editing? Do you think you have a flair for public speaking? You understand? And follow people. Like mentorship also like play a role in understanding our identity. For example, right from time I follow Pastor Sam Adeyemi, and throughout my time on campus, I've been able to like learn a lot of things from him. So I have like mentors, especially also in my profession. I have mentors in my profession I really look up to and I learn from daily. You understand? So it is very important that we know this and we understand our identity. Also, I also like to reiterate this. Sorry, 1 minute. So, all right. So,
Professor
it
Rafa.
can let others say about us. It can be tempting to let what others say about us define who we believe we are. But that's not where our identity comes from. You are not what others says and think you are. I think one of the things I used to tell people, like, I don't care about what people tell me. Like, I don't care about what people say about me, as long as you're not me. A lot of people say a lot of things about you, but it's actually not true. Unless you just want to frustrate yourself, you want to give yourself depression when you start like thinking about what people will think about you. Whether or not you do that thing that's in your mind, you do it, people will talk about it. You don't do it, people will talk about it. So you have to like I don't know how to say this. You have to like put your mind away off from what people. So if you think your dreams are big enough, I think you should just do it afraid. I've actually learned a lot. Like, I've learned a lot of things from this. I remember when I was in my 400 level, I had a lot of things to do. Like, I had this big thing I wanted to do, but I was really scared, probably because probably a lot of finances is actually very involved. But at the same time, I got to learn about this very late. You know, when your mind is set to do some things, just start it. If God is laying up an idea in your mind, I believe that you can just start. It's not necessary. It's not important that you just start big. Like I said, people. There's always this popular saying that what's it called now? What do they call it now? Old days of our little beginnings. So you necessarily don't have to like start big. You can start little by little, and you start developing yourself in that process, and you start making a lot of progress. For example, if you are looking at you want to set up, like you have a dream of setting up a secondary school or a university. You can start when you're currently in uni. You can start as holding tutorials. I think a lot of people have different what's it called now? Different approaches to achieving their dreams. So it's not necessary that you start big. You have a goal of starting a university probably when you grow older. So you don't start by probably you want to go and get a land, and probably there are a lot of structures need to be put in place before these dreams have been which English will I use now, being accomplished. So whatever your mind is set to do, you want to learn tech skills, to work in any TV broadcasting stations, or you are in law and you want to be like one of the foremost lawyers in the country, you have to start ASAP, because ideas flows easily. Idea is very what it feel like which English should I use now? Ideas flows easily. Whatever ideas lays on my mind, it might also lay on another person's mind in an entirely different manner. In fact, in a very creative manner on another person's mind. And that person might execute such idea differently from me. So it's very important that when you have an idea, you can speak to someone probably in that field that could actually help you out. And I think you also need to like be very careful about informing people about whatever ideas lays in your mind. Especially that I think I will actually advise that people that you hold in like high places, like you really respect so much, that you believe that these people will actually help you out. Not just people that you think these people might actually steal, because a lot of people steal ideas and there's nothing you can do to it. So have people in your niche that you respect, that you believe that you can learn something from them, that you believe that they will do a lot to your becoming. So that's very important. And I want to also retrieve that you are not on your own. You belong to God. You are God's. You are His, and always be. People always look at us on the outside. They will think who we are depends on how we look and whether we are cool or not. No, but God looks at our hearts. And we only have peace when we believe who God says we are. So we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in what, like, you have to believe in yourself. So, and I think I have few minutes left. So, and lastly, I think I will just end like this. And there's no such thing as a perfect identity. If you always try to be someone that others will like, you end up not having peace in your life. You end up frustrated. You understand? So, you end up not having peace. And to have peace in our lives, we must, listen to God, get comfortable to being who God wants us to be. Listen to yourself, understand your identity, understand yourself, understand what you want to do in life. Go for, learn from people who have been in that space before. Learn from people in your niche who are ahead of you already. So, and we are also actually meant to rely on God, to know that His love for us, and to trust that God shows us our identity. And part of living a godly life is having a group of friends who support you in your relationship, like who supports you in your relationship with Him. Then have a group of friends who support your dreams, who support your visions, that will actually help you. So, and being, I will also try to emphasize, being part of a community, is actually very vital in discovering yourself, in discovering your identity. I know that I think OAU actually helped me a lot because they were different. There were a lot of platforms that I really I took advantage of while I was on campus. Even before I joined OAU events, I think I was just doing social media management that time, until probably someone from OAU events reached out to me, and eventually in my 300 level, I joined OAU events, and OAU events gave me a platform to reach out to a lot of people. I was given a platform to meet people, to network with people, and also I also try to emphasize on networking. I will always say that you don't just network with people alone. Make sure that you are able to also develop value, to add value to the other person, even while you are networking. You understand? So when you are networking, make sure that you're also adding value to the other person, because eventually, after some time, the person you even network with, both of you forget each other after some months, after some weeks. So, and also, let me also emphasize before, like in the next 2 minutes, let me also emphasize on volunteering. I volunteered a lot when I was on campus, but I think I like to advise younger colleagues that I think you should volunteer wisely. Don't get used by people. Don't get, because eventually you get fatigued, and eventually you don't get to gain anything from such volunteering process. You understand? It's good to volunteer. You understand? You can never tell what will come out of it. But at the same time, don't just volunteer at any such event. Or you see one event like this, you just volunteer like straight up because you want to get the certificate. I'm very sure that throughout my volunteering process of time on campus, I can't find a certificate for any of these events till now. So I can't show. It's very important to volunteer wisely. You volunteer for an event that you know that it's going to be 50-50. You are volunteering for such an event, and the event is adding to you, is adding value to you, is adding like a lot of things to you aside from the things you're going to learn from the event, or the value, or the people you are going to meet there. You understand? So volunteer strategically. Know that when you are volunteering for an event, know that what are the things, what are those things that would what are those things you will be able to gain after it? Not just that you are volunteering to like getting certificate. So volunteering. So, and also And also, I think lastly, like be a part of a godly community, be a part of a community that supports your vision, that supports your dreams, and I think from there you'll be able to understand your identity, then you're able to evolve, you're able to understand yourself, you're able to add value to you, people around you, you're able to add, you're able to make impact, even as a young millennial or as a young Gen Z. So I think that's my final words. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, I'll be available to answer.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. That was very, very insightful. Totally worth the time. Thanks a lot, sir. Please, if you have any questions, do well to ask now. And what were your key takeaways from this session? For me, it was developing capacity. I really, really keyed into that, developing capacity. Okay, yeah, thank you for the reactions in the chat box. Thank you so much, sir. Are there any questions? Please, you can type your questions out so that our speaker can provide responses. And while we wait for people to send in their questions, please, can you go to the general group and just drop 1 or 2 things that you might have learned? 1 or 2 things that you might have learned from this session so that others can know what they are missing by not being on this call. Yes, that's true. Thank you so much, Ayomide. Success is predictable. Yes, success is predictable. Okay, so I think we do not have any questions now. Oh, wow, yes. Thank you, Oluwaseyo. Do not let other people say, do not know what other people say about you, define who you are. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so I think that there are no questions at the moment. If there are any, we'll do well to send them to speaker. Thank you so much once again for your time, sir. We are very grateful to have you.
Okay, someone said she has a question.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Please go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
All right. Thank you very much for that insightful session. So I have a question. While we are trying to discover ourselves, how do we deal with pressure from outside, from people? While we are trying to discover ourselves, maybe someone is trying to say that this is
I can't hear you again. Can you come again? I didn't hear you.
how do we deal with pressure from people while we are trying to discover ourselves?
Pressure like what?
Maybe someone is sick. How do we deal with that kind of a thing?
The voice was breaking.
Yeah, we have another question in the chat box.
I'll type it.
Or can you just drop the question on the chat so that I can read it? The voice is breaking.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we have another question in the chat box. Someone asked whether there was a limit to volunteering. Then she has sent in a question too.
Okay, yeah, is there a limit to volunteering? There's no limit to volunteering. Every volunteering every volunteering act, gives you visibility. For example, if I am an upcoming MC, if I really want to I'm an upcoming master of ceremony, and if I think that's what really helped me on campus. I did a lot of MC's duties and all, but when I was my 100 level, I volunteered for a lot of events, and I started telling people, even like colleagues that we both volunteer together. I started telling them, "Oh, I am Daniel. I'm an MC." Kind of things. From there, I gained visibility. I started introducing myself to people. So volunteering helps you to reach out to more people. It helps you to gain influence. It helps you to develop yourself, even though you are learning, giving yourself learning a lot of things every day. So it exposes you to a lot of things. How like explain. Actually, there's no limit to volunteering. You can volunteer as much as possible. At the same time, like I said, volunteer strategically. You understand? Don't say that because they are doing one event in Oduduwa Hall. So as though once they release a volunteering link, they just volunteer. Like you understand? So don't just volunteer like that. Know what you want to gain from such volunteering process or acts. You're not just volunteering blindly. You understand? So volunteer with an aim that okay, this is what I'll be able to gain from such volunteering process. So there's no limit to volunteering. Volunteering adds a lot of people. It helps you to build your influence, your area of influence, helps you to add value to other people's, Also, I think that's that. So, yeah, you said, how do we deal with pressure on the journey to discovery? I was asking what kind of pressures. You didn't state that. Pressures like what? You can just state example. I will just answer that. So, okay, sir, what can I do if I find myself in a new place and the people there does not share the same identity as mine? How do I navigate through? How do you navigate through? Well, if I say I understand this question, I think I will put it this way. You say, okay, what can I do if you find yourself in a new place and people there does not share the same identity as you? But I think what's it called now? You always find yourself in a place where probably a lot of people you're probably in that space, they don't share the same identity as you. What you just do is what how will I explain this now? I think I will answer this. So once you find yourself in a place where you notice that the people around you do not share the same identity as you, basically, like I think you be patient enough to touch what's it called, such gathering of such people, and from there you'll be able to know what you want to do. So I don't understand. Let me just cite an example. For example, I found myself in a place like in a lot of gatherings where I believe that these people are not key into my. Which is an identity. I'm a believer. I found myself sitting among these unbelievers before. I found myself where I have to like get a bottle of Coke, and the other people have to get a bottle.
I can do it.
I don't want to follow what other people are doing. Of course, it's an area of influence actually, especially if you are in the corridor of influence. We believe that there are some job applications you apply to that eventually they will invite you to a date and they will put probably a bottle of red wine or a bottle of an alcoholic drink, and they might want to just test your what's it called now, your integrity. You understand? So I think basically, I wouldn't know if you're a believer. I believe that the Holy Spirit helps people to know what to do at such instances. For example, there was a time I found myself where probably we're like up to like 15, and everybody ordered what's it called? Everybody ordered alcoholic drinks. And and the fact that all of us were young guys, I was very ashamed of myself that I don't take alcoholic drinks. And not even because I'm a believer, but because I don't, it's never in my, what's it called? It's not who I am. You understand? So, but at the same time, I just need to like make my presence known that, hey, yes, this is me. I'm not trying to conform to what everybody is doing. So in their presence, I told them to get me a bottle of Coke. You understand? And I was never ashamed of such decision I made. And whatever we are, like I said during the webinar, whatever you are, whatever you become today is as a result of decisions that you make. So we don't blame people for what we are. We don't blame people for what we become in life. We made those decisions, and I believe that we are in a stage where your parents are not making decisions for you. We are making decisions for ourselves. So whatever decisions that you make for yourself is what you are, and the ability to make your presence known wherever you find yourself, and for people to know who you are exactly. I think that was also a way that you let people know who you are, not just because you want to like be someone else. You want to be someone else. You understand? So I think that's that. So how do we deal with pressure while being on the journey to discovery? Yeah, there are a lot of pressures, especially when you're like in your process of becoming. Like there are pressures from colleagues, from friends, from families, money pressure, peer pressure. You understand? And I would say that what helped me was, in fact, there were a lot of pressure, especially on the campus. There were pressures from the opposite sex. It actually happens, especially when you're also into politics. Especially when you're into politics. So number one, you have to understand where you are going. I stated that during the webinar, like 5 questions you need to answer for yourself when you're on your journey to success, when you're journey to destiny. And so you have to understand where you are going. It will help you to know to understand what opportunities, what opportunities jump on. For example, I knew like, I was going to be a physiotherapist. Like, of course, I will graduate. So I was going to be, I'll be a physiotherapist, and I'll be able to like progress on my career. So whatever opportunities comes along the way, even though those opportunities might be very juicy, you know that, this is not for you. I don't know if you understand, there are a lot of opportunities that are very tempting, that in fact, they will even offer you like a lot of money for it. But when you understand where you are going, you understand what's it called now? You understand your purpose. I should have said that. You understand your purpose in life. You'll be able to to sideline, you'll be able to focus, you'll be able to know what is you'll be able to focus on which English should I use now? You're able to know what works for you. You're able to know which what not to do, what to do. You're able to differentiate from the right and wrong. So especially when I was on campus, I had like a lot of pressures from the opposite sex. Even though I don't have money. So, but then I believe that power attracts a lot of pressures. Influence attracts a lot of pressures. Forget it. Even if you have money and you have even to the tiniest level of influence, you have a lot of pressures after following you. So you have to, number one, you have to be very focused. You have to understand your purpose, and you have to know different. You have to what's it called now? You have to like know what is right or wrong. Even though a lot of opportunities, like of course, a lot of opportunities, a lot of opportunities are very good. So I was telling someone that with the level I am now, even if someone offers me a job where, if someone offers me a job that I know that, oh, this is not what I want to do, and they're offering, I will know that, oh, this is not my, what's it called? This is not my thing. For example, if someone offers me a speaking platform, like she's going to be talking about love, or she's going to be talking about any other thing aside from leadership, apart from politics, apart from physiotherapy, I definitely know that, oh, that is not my area of focus. So I think that's that about that. Okay. Okay, in a minute. Thank you. I think for someone that actually loves a particular profession, even though he has no reason for why he loves it, and he's on the path that leads to another profession, he always feels unsatisfied whenever he sees another person doing so well in that profession he loved, but he's unable to achieve it. E.g., someone that loves medicine but later ends up studying course in school, but whenever he sees whenever he sees or in the surrounding of medical students, he always feels unsatisfied with the course he's studying at present. Please, what is the advice for that person? So I think I would just answer this last question. I think the only answer to this is the fact that if you still feel like you are not satisfied with your current states, you know what to do. You know what to do to get that thing done. I believe you just do that. So I think that's my answer to that, because I tell people that, especially with this issue of medicine, nursing, physiotherapy, and all, if you know that you want to study medicine, you know what to do to get medicine. But if you know that you cannot walk the walk, I will just say that I think you just have to like, develop capacity where you are currently. For example, I didn't choose physiotherapy, and I'm grateful to God that I am making impact where I am now. I'm grateful to God for the help of God, for where I am now, and for what is coming ahead of me. So number one, you have to like trust God to help you. If you know that you don't have the ability to walk the walk, because definitely people know what to do to get medicine. You understand? So you have to, number one, you have to like trust God to help you. You have to talk to people. Let them advise you, let them talk to you about prospects in those courses, in the course that you currently find yourself in. Talk to people now that might actually inspire a sense of hope in you. You understand? Everybody, you will succeed, regardless of whatever cause you find yourself. That's just it. Everybody, regardless of what cause or what profession you find yourself, as long as you're able to maximize such opportunities in those disciplines. You understand? There are a lot of opportunities everywhere. So your success in life is not dependent on the current course you're studying in the university. In fact, in this recent time, this 2023 shows that you can do anything with your life and you succeed while doing it, as long as you develop capacity, as long as you understand yourself, as long as you are able to learn. So your success in life does not what's it called now? Does not mean that it does not depend on the current course you're currently studying in school. So I think that's my answer for that. And talk to people that you respect in higher places. Let them advise you. Let them talk to you. You understand? I think that's my answer for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very concise and useful response. Grateful. Can we appreciate?
I am wondering.
Time, appreciation for the wisdom that he has shared. Thank you so very much. Hello, I believe people can hear me. I want to be sure I'm not. Oh, all right, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. We are
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Can we just appreciate the speaker, Dan Olubumi? Can we just go to the chat box and then drop something? That was very insightful. I mean, I've learned a lot. In fact, I've written a lot. Thank you so much, sir. We are really so grateful. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for the knowledge that you've impacted. Thank you for what you represent. Thank you for everything. We are so grateful. Thank you so much. All right, so I think our moderator is having issue with the network right now. And then, so what we'll be doing, our time has been fast spent. So I will just briefly talk about the Discovering You podcast before we go to the panel session. Can we all hear me? Can I be heard, please?
We can hear you, sir.
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. So talking about Discovering You, as we've heard, that identity and the journey of discovering you is actually not something you can attain. Like, it's a lifetime, it's a journey. I mean, it's a journey, and then so there's no level you can get into that you say at this level again, there's no more to discover about yourself. We always have more to do. I mean, breath is the proof of something greater to conquer. As long as you are breathing, it's still a proof that you have to move ahead. It's still a proof that there's still another part of you that you don't know. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that there's what we call known knowledge. That known knowledge is oppressive. So there's another type of knowledge that you have to add to know knowledge to make you bet innovation and invention. So the podcast, Discovering You, we are launching it officially today, immediately after this program. And I will also be dropping the link to, we already have it on the Apple Podcast. It's available on Spotify. It's available on different platforms. So I'll be sending the link to the chat box. So as the meeting is ongoing and it's proceeding, you can click the link. You can try to subscribe, rate it after you've listened, and most importantly, just subscribe so that as we'll be releasing the subsequent episode, you'll be automatically notified about it. So thank you so much. Now we'll be moving to the panel session. I want to believe so much that you are also ready for this session. I mean, it's so powerful. We have the opportunity as well to have this amazing set of people that will be coming up now. any questions that you really want to ask about them, or maybe there's anything interesting about them that you really want them to demystify for you, or how they were able to come about with something that you cherish and inspired you so much, and you want them to provide answers to. Just get ready. So this is another session, and I believe that these people are already here. So I will first of all want our panelists to introduce themselves, like just briefly. So if you are there, please, we want you to introduce yourself. We have 3 of them. So let's go first by Praise Ogunleke. So Praise Ogunleke, if you are there, please, I would like you to introduce yourself. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
All right. So my name is
Yes, we can.
Praise Ogunleke. All right. So my name is Praise Ogunleke, and I am a LAUTECH student. I school at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology. However, I don't like to define myself by my school or I am a change strategist, driving good impact in marginalized communities. I have passion for corporate leadership, capacity building, policy, international development, and whatnot. So my passion to create change in my community and empower youth has led me to convene like high impact programs such as TEDx LAUTECH, Speak Like Dawn, which was a 7-day class focused on promoting the intrinsic power of oratory, leadership, and innovative abilities. And I've convened other programs like that. I am really happy to be here, and I believe that we're going to have an amazing time together. Thank you very much, people.
Wow. That's so powerful. Can you hear that? I mean, I know that you are ready to get hot right now. So the next person, Covenant Odedele, please, Covenant Odedele, if you are there, please, can you introduce yourself? Thank you so much. Covenant, the floor is yours. Can you just introduce yourself briefly?
All right, yeah.
All right, so I guess he's having issue with his network. Okay, so as we are waiting, can we have Dumomi Drojaye? Dumomi Drojaye, if you are there, please can you introduce yourself? Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Can I be heard, please?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Dumomi Drojaye, and I'm a medical student in Obafemi Awolowo University. I love to explore, and I think that's why I have a wide range of interests. I do a lot of things basically, but at the core of what I do is to see people become better and to grow and to show off the potential that is within them. Yeah, I think that's all about me.
Wow, thank you so much, Dumomi. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. All right, so Covenant, if you are there, Covenant Odedele, if you are there and you have a good network, can you introduce yourself,
Okay.
please?
I think I'm audible now. I hope so. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, awesome. So good evening, everybody. Yes, good evening. It feels so great to be here this night, and I want to say happy birthday to Femi. And I mean, thank you for this privilege, and also thank you for taking up the responsibility to put something like this together. I like it when people celebrate their birthdays in altruistic ways and just think about what can I do for people and what can people do for me. So thank you so much, Femi, for this initiative. So I'm Covenant, or Dirty Covenant, and I identify as a visionary. So and I'm a medical student of the College of Medicine, UI. I have interests that intersect at the nexus of social entrepreneurship and innovation, civic engagement, and policy, and managing social impact projects. I run the Congress and students on LinkedIn. And I mean, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's so amazing. I mean, that's so amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, because of our time, I will go straight to the questions that we have for you for now. Before we now take questions from the audience. All right, so please, we'll be going in this direction. So the question that we'll be asking, this first question it goes to the trio of our panelists, from Praise Ogunleke, then followed by Dumomi Drojaye, then followed by Covenant Odedele. So when I asked the question, so immediately Praise answered the question, and then Dumomi can also go ahead, and then followed by Covenant. All right, thank you so much. So we've heard a lot about the discovery you and identity and all of those things, self-discovery, your journey and your purpose, assignments, which is very sound and sweet. So, but we have a lot of people that we are in the category that we are still trying to find out who we are. And we thank our speaker. He has really demystified that for us and gave us some tools that we can really work with. So I want to ask, pertaining to you, what is your view about identity? I mean, discovering you, identity, what's your view about it? I mean, how's it been for you yourself? So that's it. So let's go from Praise Ogunleke. Thank you.
So once again, I would like to confirm if you can hear me. If you can hear me clearly, just let me know.
We can hear you.
All right. So yeah, the question is, what is my perspective about? Olajide Oluwaseyo. I don't know. Can we mute? Okay. So yeah, the question is, what is my perspective about identity? Now, let me ask everybody on this call, who are you? That's just a simple question. Who are you? If you are given the microphone today, you're standing in front of the whole world and you're asked to talk about yourself, what are you going to say? That's the question. Now, this is a question that we have to think about over and over and over again. I've realized that over time, when you ask people who they are, they define themselves by extrinsic parameters. So people, when you ask, for example, okay, who exactly are you? People begin to tell you, oh, I'm a student of University of Lagos. I'm a student of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. I'm a law student. I'm a this, I'm a that. I'm from, I hail from Ibadan, your state, all of those things, right? Now, the question of identity, or let me say the answer to identity, is not derived by extrinsic parameters, by external parameters. So it is impossible for you to accurately have a definition about yourself when you look at things from an extrinsic perspective. That is number one. So identity is not defined by extrinsic parameters. I'm trying to talk about the things that identity is not, right? Now, again, every time people talk about identity, people always think that identity identity, the discovery of identity, finding who you are is short term. So it's just something that you can just wake up one Monday morning and just discover, boom. Now, it doesn't work that way. It's not possible for you to discover yourself in a day, or discover yourself in a week, or discover yourself in a month, right? Most of the people that you look up to never discover themselves in a day. So I'm saying that the discovery of identity is not short term. It is long term, right? However, you can discover the core of your identity in a short term. And this is what I'm trying to say. For example, you know that, okay, I identify as a believer. So I know that I am a king priest, for example. My brother was introducing himself the other time. He identified himself as a visionary, right? Now, I'm saying that you can find the core of your identity. For example, I know that I am not of this world. Excuse me, I'm not of this world, right? I was made by an higher entity for a purpose, right? So I'm saying that the discovery of identity is not short term. However, you can discover the core of your identity in a short term. Now, the third thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that your identity discovery is a collaborative business between you and your creator, right? And that's why when you see that, okay, we have Apple makes an iPhone, right? Or makes an iPad, right? So you can connect the identity of the product to the creator. It is the creator that can precisely give an accurate sense of identity. However, it's a collaborative business. So it means that God is involved, you are involved. It's not something that God can do alone, and it's not something that you can do alone. You have to involve your creator. So basically, identity is understanding who you are, what you represent, and those things are going to transfer into your values as well. They're going to transfer into your values. So for example, if you know that you are a king, you know that a king doesn't lie. So a king spends the currency of integrity, for example. If you know that you are royalty doesn't feel, doesn't have a low self-esteem. A low self-esteem and royalty, they are not together. So you know that as royalty, you're supposed to have a good self-esteem. So I'll just pause there for now. Just to recap, I said that identity is not defined by extrinsic parameters, and discovery of identity is not short term. However, you can discover the core of your identity in a short term. So for example, you can know that, this year God wants you to impact 100 teenagers in a particular community, right? That's another thing. Then you can also discover your identity when you collaborate with your creator. It is when you don't have an accurate sense of your identity that you do certain things, right? So I'll just pause there for now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. That's so, insightful. Thank you. So I believe you are jotting and you are writing something down already. All right, so let's go to Momi Drojai. So the same thing goes to you too. What's your view about identity? How does it relate with you? And then your journey so far, what can you say about it? Talking from experience.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So yes, identity is a very, very deep topic, because some people see their identity as what is on their ID card, while others see identity as what is inside of them. As for me, I would agree with Praise. Praise said your identity is not it's not based on external attributes, but it's based on what is inside of you, what God has deposited in you. Yes, I'm a believer and I believe strongly in God and how God made humans. God made humans with purpose. And if you don't understand your identity, if you don't know your identity, it will be very hard to fulfill your purpose here on earth. Knowing your identity, that's your true essence, your core as a human, it will help you to function from a place of truth. If you don't know your identity, everything else you are doing in this world is false. It's a lie. It is a facade. You are just quoting things up. You are not engaging your true essence. You're not engaging your true being. Okay, as for me personally, I didn't come across identity, or I didn't see identity, or I didn't discover my identity until a few years ago. And I realized that one way to find who you truly are is to be very conscious of yourself. It might look like I'm saying the same thing, but when you look at what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what God is constantly telling you, the kind of people you attract, the kind of people you repel, the way you react to things, the way, for example, some people see beggars on the street as just beggars, while some other people see beggars as people who are humans as them, and they should take actions, social impact actions, to look at changing these people's lives, while some people see beggars as people that they can do anyhow and maybe kidnap or maybe use for their sacrifice. What is the difference between the three of them is how they see themselves. So like how you see yourself helps you to see the world. And like basically, identity is a combination of the qualities, the characteristics, your beliefs and experiences that makes us unique individuals. So like within your identity is your uniqueness in the world, and everybody has been made unique. But if you don't know if you don't know who you truly are, you are going to end up imitating somebody, and that is very, 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 very harmful, because who you truly are, you have been equipped to act in that position. You have been equipped, God has equipped you to act with everything that you need to fulfill your purpose and like to act from that place of your identity. But if you don't know who you are, if you don't discover your identity, and then you are just acting, functioning in the world, of course you are carrying another person's identity, and things are going to be so hard for you. Yeah, people say fake it till you make it, but no, if you keep faking it, you are not going to make it, because like you're not going to fulfill purpose if you keep acting from a place of falsehood, like you don't know your identity. So like as a believer, I strongly believe that God has created every individual with a purpose, and you have a particular position you have to take in the world. I see it as, I don't know if there are other science students here, but I see your identity as you being an enzyme for a particular substrate. And if you're familiar with your chemistry, you know that enzymes are usually substrate specific. So like if you're an enzyme and you are trying to act on a substrate that is not your place of assignment, place of primary assignment, you're just going to be doing nonsense there. Like your impact is not going to be felt in the way that it should be. So if you don't know who you are, you cannot function in the place that you are supposed to be. So yeah, I think that's it. For me, knowing my identity has played a very huge impact in my growth. Like if I didn't know who I was, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of things that I do now. And one place that I take my identity from is the Word of God. I trust everything that God has said about me, and it cannot be overemphasized, really, 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 because we have been equipped. You just have to see it, believe it, and then be conscious of it. So I think I'll stop here for now. Yeah, next person take it up from here.
All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was so insightful and precise. Thank you. Okay, so in summary, I don't know if you are getting something. So you realize that identity is actually beyond the name that you give to yourself. That you can mention your name does not necessarily mean you know who you are. It is very easy for me to say I'm Oluwafemi, but you realize that that name, you're not the one that chose it for yourself. It's not a name that you chose out of understanding of self and understanding of your meaning. It was actually chosen for you. So that's why change of name is possible. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So please, I want you to take notes, write something down, start from something you want to stop doing to something you now begin to do. all of those things are very important and necessary. All right, so I don't know if Covenant is on the call right now. Covenant, are you there? All right, it's not on the call. Okay, so we'll proceed to the next question. So when it comes around, he will join us, and then we'll be able to. Okay, I think Covenant is on the call right now. So Covenant, the question is about identity. Like, for you, what can you say about it? And then with your experience as a student, the level you are now, and everything you've been able to do, so what can you say that identity, or the role that identity has played in your life? So in summary, can you take it forward?
All right. You can hear me clearly, so I can catch up and cover up the things I missed. So can I get a response, please?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
All
can
right.
hear
All
you.
right. Okay, thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. So to me, and like Femi said, bordering from my experiences and from the things I've interacted with and gathered time, but as a student and as a leader, I mean, as a student leader, I'm using what I tell my friends, and I say, know what you want and know how you want it. Know what you want and know how you want it. That's like a summary of what identity means, because you need to be able to identify who you are and how it interfaces with the things you want to do. And that's what you want to do. And that is what will inform how you want to do. Cause
Okay, I think Covenant is having an issue with the network. I mean, it was so sudden, but just have to take it off because of our time. Okay, so now because of our time, from my side, I will be asking the last question before we take questions from people because of the time. All right, so the first question will go to Praise Ogunleke. Praise Ogunleke, I believe you are there. So the question is, how do you come about with the courage to believe in the impossibility? Now, I would say impossibility not because it's something that is unachievable, but it's something that is beyond the reach of majority. So that's why I say, how do you come about with the courage to believe in the impossibility, so that you have nothing, I mean, practically zero on ground, but you still embark on the journey, and you convey like many great events, particularly TEDx Lautex, which was very good. So to mention out of many that you've conveyed. So please, how do you come about that courage, that audacity to believe in impossibility, so that there was nothing on ground, but you still embark on the journey anyway? Can you answer that? Thank you. So,
All right. Thank you very much, Femi, for that brilliant question. Okay, so I'll just be sharing from my own experience, basically. And I believe that people relate or resonate better with stories, right? How was I able to see the possibility in things, or how did I have the courage to do things when they seemed practically impossible? Okay, so I'll start by saying that before I took up all of those responsibilities, I tried as much as possible to expose myself to a lot of possibilities. That's what I'm trying to say. I exposed my mind to a lot of possibilities. I realized that you can only grasp in reality whatever you've conceived in your mind. It is not possible for you to witness or experience realistically what you've not experienced in your mind. So even though I was in the LAUTECH environment where we had never had a TEDx event, I tried as much as possible to expose my mind. And what did I do? Very early when I got to the university in 100 level, I started to borrow from the adventure capital of people. I started to borrow from the experiences of people. So there was something I used to do like every single day. I would go through somebody that I looked up to and read their stories. My brother Covenant was talking the other time about the fact that can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, yes. So I said as much as possible, I tried to borrow from other people's adventure capital. Now, my brother Covenant was talking the other time about the fact that you have to know who you are and who you want to be and how you want to be that kind of person. Now, so I knew from the start the kind of person that I wanted to be, and this is what I tried to do. There's something that I call purposeless. Right? Purposeless is just like a breakdown of your purpose, the things that you're supposed to do part-time, right? So for example, for like a period of 3 years, next 3 years is a particular thing that I want to achieve. And for another period of maybe 3 to 5 years, another thing I want to achieve, right? Those are purposeless, right? So I knew that when I entered school, there was a particular thing that I wanted to achieve. And that thing was not to just be academically sound or be the president of a particular fellowship. Now, I'm not saying all of these things are bad, to be honest. I'm not saying all of these things are not relevant. However, I knew that was not my person. That was not the things that I wanted to do on campus, right? So, and that was why when I knew what I wanted to do, I knew the things to say no to. So I used to decline a lot of let me say, opportunities in that sense that were not relevant to my own journey. So I knew what exactly I wanted. And I knew the kind of people that I wanted to be like. Now, let me put this out there. If you don't know who exactly you want to be like, one thing I do, or one thing that I did was that I explored a lot. Like I really explored a lot. So for example, I got myself exposed to people in the design industry. I got myself exposed to people in social impact. I got myself exposed to people in ministry. I got myself exposed to people in different spheres, right? So I realized that most of the time, when you are not sure of who you are, you have to be sure of who you are not. So it got to a point where I knew that I was not going into ministry. That was the first thing that I knew. I knew that I was not necessarily going to politics, especially in school. Well, I don't know if that's going to change in the next few years, but as at then, I knew I was not going to like do politics. I wanted to create a change, but it was not through the political sphere, right? So those are the things that I knew that I did not want to do, right? So that was why I did not like take what's it called, opportunities in those aspects. Now, what I did was that as much as possible, I borrowed from other people's adventure capital, like people that have gone ahead of me. I would do their stories, go to their Facebook page, go to their Instagram page. You can just pick somebody that you look up to, pick up DDK, pick up Sheon Fakorede, pick up Pastor Godma Kilabi, just pick them up, go to their IG page, look at the things that they've done, look at their expenses and all that, right? So I tried as much as possible to do that. Then I also exposed my mind to a lot of possibilities. So I very early, I started attending events, in different places, and that really exposed my mind to a lot of possibilities. So I'm saying that everything is possible when you can see it in your mind, right? So an ordinary man, seeing is believing, but to a visionary, believing is seeing. So I'll just pause there for now, and hopefully we can, take it up from there.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, if this were to be a physical gathering, I believe the whole room will have been in uproar right now. Thank you so much for that insightful answer to the question. I believe you are getting something already. So, and I think part of what he said was that you might not really know who you are, but you should always be clear about who you are not. And by the time you subtract who you are not from the equation, what will be left is who you are. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So you can just start from any of those. Are you getting something? So to the Momi Duro Jaye, our sister. All right. So I want to ask you a question that is similar to that as well. Because I personally know, and I know that a lot of people here too, they are also aware that you are into different stuffs. I mean, you do a lot of things combined with academics as well. And so I don't know where the courage is actually coming from as a lady, active in church, active in department, doing business, doing social impact, doing so much. Where is the courage coming from? Is it that maybe there's somebody that is sponsoring everything you are doing, or maybe you are just, someone is just writing project for you and they are giving money, they are saying just go and execute it, or maybe there was really nothing but you just believe that there's a place and then there's a space for you in this universe, and once you can enter into your power, you can occupy it. So I just want you to demystify that, and maybe you can just take it up from there. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I really love that question because I don't know, you guys will be maybe hearing some of my secrets. So yes, I do a lot of things, and sometimes, when God gives me assignment, because I actually work based on assignments. I don't just cook up ideas and then run with them. Because even some of the things I do, I usually wonder. Like today, I started something new, and I'm like, if this thing should fly, I will know that I am not the one. So yes, I have a sponsor, and God is my sponsor. And it might sound very, very Christianese and all of that, but I won't lie to you. God is my sponsor, right? So yes, where do I get the courage from? So when we talking about physically now, I don't have any courage anywhere. I don't have any courage anywhere. Most of the things that I do them from a place of being afraid but facing the fear. Some time ago, I put up on my WhatsApp status because, a lot of people struggle with procrastination. And, it just occurred to me that most of the time why people procrastinate is because of fear. They are afraid. Now, they might not be afraid of getting stuff done, but they are afraid of the work they will have to put in to get that thing done. So, majority of people deal with fear. Sorry, please, can those people be muted? Okay, yes, thank you. So majority of people deal with fear and then they don't face it head on. But yes, I deal with fear too, but then I face it head on. I be like, okay, yes, I acknowledge you, this fear is there, but I am going to feel the fear, but do it anyways. I'm going to do it regardless. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I don't know what will happen next tomorrow, but I am just going to step into it because God has called me to do it. And I know like I know my name, that whatever God has called me to do, He has equipped me to do. So I might not have the resources physically, but once I believe and I step into that assignment, things are just going to fall in line. It's not going to fall in line immediately, but then they are going to fall in line eventually. Like when God sends you to go, just go. And of course, this comes from a place of knowing how to hear God. But that's by the way. So another thing that has helped me so far is having people who believe in you. Now, this is very important because yes, they might not support you. They might not have all the answers that you want. They might not give you the resources, the money, the publicity, the everything. But once they believe in you, I think that's good enough to go. My friends around me, I tell them something and they just be like, you can do it. These people might not come back and say how far. They might not say how far have you done it. Yes, that's also good and that's recommended. But just because they said you can do it, I have it at the back of my mind that yes, I can do, because any idea, if I share it, any idea that wells up within me, if I share with somebody and then they talk down on the idea and like, we cannot do this one, no. Maybe you should leave this one for God. Your mind will not go there. Your mind will not go there. And it also comes from a place of identity. Once you know who you are and like the kind of people that you attract, you have this kind of people that they believe in you. Their push, their belief will take you farther than you can imagine. See, they don't have to be there all the time. The fact that you shared your idea with them and they said, yes, this is good to go. This is awesome. You can do it. You have my support. You have my backing. Who do you need? Let us call. It's enough, really. It's enough. The power of having the right relationships, it cannot like be overemphasized. When you know your identity and like the position that you have been created to occupy in the world, and you are fully aware that you are the person for the job, you will feel the fear, but you'll do it anyways. Once you know that you are the person for the job, like you will not want another person to take your assignments, because one thing with God is that He will not beg you. It's your place to do the assignment. But if you refuse to do it, another person is going to do it. So if you don't want another person to do it, you will do it. So yes, that's how I run my things. I just do it afraid. I don't need extra energy drink or anything or any superhuman feeling. I feel the fear, but I do it anyway. I step into that assignment. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. 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 I mean, are you writing something already? I mean, that was so powerful and insightful. Honestly, I think one of the things that you said was the fact that fearlessness is not absence of fear, right? Fearlessness is not absence of fear, actually. Fearlessness is the courage to take action in spite of fear. I think that's what she was trying to say, that even though there's fear, but the courage to sit back on that journey in spite of fear. So you have to actually have confidence to begin to take action even when you are fearful not to want to do it. Thank you so much. And then also surround yourself with people that believe in what you represent and what you want to do. What they are going to say is enough. Like somebody can just say something that will kill the whole dream, and you can receive life from what another person is going to say. It's just going to tell you that I believe in what you're going to do, and I know that you can do it. That's enough. That's enough as a capital to start whatever you want to do. I mean, thank you so much. I believe you are writing something that, okay, so to our to Covenant or the daily network was really an issue the other time. So this time around, we will be combining the two questions together in some way.
Yeah.
So the first one the first one that I had, then the second one was what we have been talking about too. So what the identity was for you, and then other one is other answer. Thank you. You can continue.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I got that. I think I'm audible enough, right? I just need to know when I lose touch. So I want to be sure I am very audible now. Right. So Am I audible? Please, I need a response. I can't hear anything yet. I can't.
Yes, you are audible. Loud and clear.
Very good, very good, very good. So yes, so I'll just touch down on the things I could not, say the other time, and I'll just answer the last question that I have to. So I was saying the other time that you have to understand, what you want and how you want it exactly. That's the identity, basically. What do you want? And just like my brother said, Praise, it was like if you don't know what you want, or if you don't know what you like, or if you don't know what you want to be, at least know what you do not want to look like. So you can, easily use that as, a kit to just, find your way and all of that. So yes, so I would, in 2019, I used to define myself as a writer. If anybody asks me, why are you, there was this thing people would say, what if they ask you, who are you, without mentioning your name, what are you going to say? So if you're asked, who are you, and you don't have to mention your name, what are you going to say? So I used to call myself a writer. Then, the transition was from, okay, this writer is ready to chip. Let me say a passionate young man. So, I'm a passionate young man. I would just say passionate about Nigeria, passionate about leadership, It changed. Okay, when I resumed school. So when I resumed school, I in 100 level, I used to say I'm a student leader. So there was a transition. You could understudy, you could see the track records of identity, because you get to know yourself better. You don't just discover yourself just in a day. It's a transitional thing. You don't just disappear into the experience. So from student leader, that was when the visionary thing came up. So and then I started calling myself visionary, and then the name has just gone to have a life of its own. So basically, when you talk about identity, it's first is what you present yourself as that people will call you actually. And I say something a lot, please. I know we're young people here, and we try to take on the fact that we're young as an excuse or as an advantage. So I am a young leader, I am a young professional, I am a young pastor, I'm a young student. I mean, remove the word young. You are a professional. If you are a professional, you're a professional. That's what Prince Young Fakorede says a lot. It says, it's not a caveat. It's not like they will consider you. It's one thing I want us to always remember, that the fact that you are young, please remove it. Don't say I'm a young this, I'm a young that. No, you are what you are, and you can do it even though you are young. So being young is not an excuse for delivering quality. So yes, talking about venture capital. See, I want us to listen. Like Chris was saying the other time that we have traveled, we have exposed ourselves to some quality stuff. And I'm telling you, see, someone says this a lot. One of my mentors says this a lot, that there are big people that you want to meet or that inspire you a lot in your journey through, through purpose and all of that. But you might not get them easily. Like, for example, let's say one of the big people in town now is Leke Oda. I mean, people like FD, Fela Drotoye, people like, big people like this, you, Olakunle Shorinyo, you might not be able to say you want to access them, physically, apart from maybe their resources, their videos and all of those things. You might not be able to get them physically. But there are people that they have actually condensed their experiences from these people into themselves. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So you see people that in their own journey, in the process of becoming what they want to look like, they've gotten from FD, they've gotten from Shorinyo, they've gotten from Leke Oda, they've gotten from many people across the board and condensed it in probably through resources, probably through exposure, through travels, through distance, and they've condensed it to themselves. These people are now like an hybrid of too many people. So you see that they are very, very, very valuable. That's what is. Like, people are authorities in fields, and because of exposure that different people have had and gathered from these different people, you cannot sideline them. That is what venture capital actually is. See, and that's one thing I want you to focus on as a student or someone doing things in their campus is please explore. Try to expose yourself to things in different places. Don't just sit in the confines of that is what venture capital is. The fact that you can leverage on what, I don't just want to see that adventure as maybe play or, you're exploring things. No, you're actually trying to, it's like a melting pot of different things that you have gathered from different people, and you put it in yourself. So you're a student in UI or LAUTECH. Okay, most people here are LAUTECH. Let me start at the reference points. But you learn from UI, you learn from OU, you learn from even Covenant University, you learn from private universities. You can go there when you have opportunities to. You can try to network with people from those places. That is it. And you can be sure, I call it superior quality. It will be very, very different because you're an hybrid of experiences, both the local ones, the global ones, what do you call it? That is what adventure that really is. So travel is exposure, please. If you can and if you have the opportunity, travel, network with people, try to leverage on convergences that bring people from different places together. That is the best way you can have a balanced perspective, and you will see that you're actually not there yet. That is it. And in fact, I mean, it's just so good. Please, adventure capital. I love that word a lot. And I mean, I think I've answered that question very, very well. So to put it all, the last question about courage and how did I come up with the courage to believe in the possibility of putting such an event together. So like, I mean, she condensed a lot of my thoughts in what she said. When she was giving her answer, she said a lot of things I would have said, talking about the fact that there are some things that you just cannot stop doing it. You can't undo it. That's the word. You can't undo it yourself. But I'm going to go in another direction. See, I'm speaking for myself and I speak for probably people that I know that have sojourned the same path as I have. We have seen some things, I'm telling you. We have heard some stories. We have listened to some things, and those things spur you on. Courage I see courage as a culmination of many factors, many stories, many things that have passed through you. It is not just built overnight. Courage is not something that you just wake up and you are bold. Boldness is not courage. They're different things. So we have seen some things I remember that in 2020, if I'm correct, I was so immersed in Seun Fakorede because I loved his track records and things he did. I mean, he was a commissioner at 27, and he became that not just by the conventional lobbying process that people in government parastatals get positions, but he got it by merit. He was actually appointed because of his track records in the social space and development space. So I was really immersed in his work. And there was this podcast that this guy recorded at Home Advantage Africa. That can you hear me? I need to be sure if I'm communicating.
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. Yes. So I mean, there's this podcast that was recorded in one of the events that I hosted, and that podcast was just talking about how he started what he wanted to do. Come on, but I listened to that podcast for, I can say, over 50 times. I would just play it on repeat over and over and over and over. That is how courage is built. You actually build courage by listening to the experiences, by leveraging on what people have done and how they did it. That is what will actually give you the boldness. And I want to also talk about something, the burden of vision. When you carry a vision in your heart, I don't know how to explain this. Some things are better experienced than they're explained because explanations might not come in the best of words. You can't just resonate with someone that has experienced this, but I'll try as much as possible to give the best explanation I can give. When you carry the burden of vision, the utterance of that vision is just so heaved in your heart that until you do something about it, you do not feel happy. You feel like you are doing everything wrong. I don't know. When you are not doing it, it feels like everything around you is not working. You are seeing yourself, you are seeing things around you, but it's that same thing you are meant to do that you are seeing. So I like to break it into 4 stages. The process, of probably, conceiving something in your heart and doing it. It is that process that builds the courage. But then through that process, I call it visions, burdens, surgeons, and actions. So when you have a vision in your heart, the burdens that comes from those visions make you, sometimes you can't eat. I mean, there are some people that can actually, they can actually agree to what I'm saying. Some things are just so hot in your stomach and it feels like even food can't quench that appetite or do that thing that is in your heart. It feels like if you don't do it, you are not yourself. That's the burden. So it is that thing that actually propels you. So on days that you are weak, you remember that thing. You don't even know where the energy comes from, but you just go on again. That is what courage is. The fact that you can place premium on the burden that comes with having a vision and take action. So before you take action, there are some things that you go through. That's the surgeon part. There are some things you experience. There are some things people do to you. I mean, it's not easy to take responsibility. I tell you, I mean, when you do some things because you just want to do, it's not because of some gain or something. You see some things, people speak to you anyhow. I mean, I remember when we're going to get the venue we wanted to use for Congress. I mean, it was a very big venue and very classy venue, very expensive place. And, the woman was looking at me like, you really want to use this place for an event? And you said you're in 200 level. And are you sure? She just gave me the memo. I mean, the what's it called, the invoice for it. And just, okay, shall I take it? And I told her I would be back. And we came back and we hosted the event. The woman sees me every time. The respect is different. There are some things that you would go through in your process, but those things should not stop you because they actually build courage. Now, the funny thing is when you've done it once, you can replicate it some things can be replicated. They are mechanical. You can reproduce those things that you do over and over. So you see some people, they can do some things effortlessly. It's not because they are not afraid, but because they are beating some things. And courage is like they don't even have, they have an authority over it. They can just do it anyhow they want to do it. So there's this quote from JD that I am trying to paraphrase in my head. The utterance of vision must be very loud in your heart. Like, you must make sure that your vision is so, you make it very granular, like you make it so impressed in your heart. When that is in your heart, I can tell you, the courage will come. You will not be afraid to do it. And Didi, was it Praise or Didi that was saying that when people around you that support your vision, like you have co-visionaries, people that are just ready to hold your hands, it becomes much more easier. So it's a lot. It's not something I can just exploit in just this few minutes. But I think I've been able to do justice to these things and help our hearts to actually go for the things. You can do it. You can do them. Courage is very, very, very needed. But I tell you, you can actually do these things. So thank you so much for having me and for listening to what I have to say. Thank you so much, Femi, for this privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Covenant. Thanks a lot, Praise. Thank you. Thanks for your very much value-packed answer to listen. So we'll be taking questions. So if you have a question, we'll be taking just 2 questions because of the time limit. So please ask your question and who you are directing it to. And please state who you are directing it to. Ask your questions and state who you are directing it to.
Please, we are taking just 2 questions. You can drop it now, and please be precise. What's the question, and then who you are directing the questions to. And our panelists, they have maybe just 2 minutes to answer it because of our time. Thank you. You can drop the question right now. And if there's no question, so that we can end the meeting.
Okay, so I think many persons do not have questions. So thank you once again for your time and your valuable input. We are very much grateful to have you. So please, if you can share what intrigued you in the panel session, share on the group, share in the chat.
I think someone has a question in the chat box, if I'm correct.
All right, let me check. Okay. What do I do if I am ashamed of doing my potential? It did not state you would like to answer this, so I guess we'll have to select someone. Or Ishala Isaac, is there any particular person you'd like to respond? All right, I think all right, okay. Anybody, all right. Covenant, would you answer the question?
Okay, I will be very, very brief because I have to leave now, but I think someone else can also just do justice to that along the line. So what do you do when you're afraid of achieving your potential or doing your potential, as it were? I think one thing you need to get is the exposure that brings you courage, like we said the other time. You need to put yourself under someone doing what it looks like you want to do. So is there something that you see yourself doing in the next few years? Just look for someone very profound in your community. It doesn't have to be someone doing it on a large scale, because all you need is courage, not maybe excellence yet. Yes, I'm correct. You need courage first. So someone doing that in your very nearest community, look for the person and just try to put yourself under the person, learn and watch and see how this person is doing it. I think that's the basic thing you need. Let's not take it too far. That's the basic thing you need. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Covenant. Praise Mommy would like to hear from you.
All right. So basically, I'll just give this very quick illustration.
To add anything?
Okay, so I think that Covenant already answered the question, but I'd like to give this very brief illustration as well. So I've realized that most of the time, what causes this kind of feeling is when you feel that your own path is not valued, right? So it's very similar to what happens in Nigerian universities. For example, many people studying courses different from medicine and surgery, law, pharmacy, medical rehabilitation, and all those seemingly proper courses. Most of the time, people are not really confident to say that this is the kind of course that they are studying. So, for example, when you see somebody that is studying soil science, the person might be scared because it feels like that's not trendy, that's not accepted socially, right? It's not so socially acceptable. Now, this is just what I'm trying to say. Your vision doesn't have to be socially acceptable. Your vision doesn't have to align with the trend. Your vision is valid as long as it is a vision that has been given to you by God and you can conceive it. Go the path. And this is what I'm going to say again. There are people that are pace setters when it comes to certain things, right? So there are people that, when it comes to maybe research, they are pace setters. When it comes to for some people, when it comes to social impact, they are pace setters. Some people, when it comes to ministry, today when we talk about ministry, talk about Kenneth Hagin, we talk about Miles Monroe, we talk about all of those people. Those are pace setters, right? So I'm saying that you can also be a pace setter in the path of your own vision, right? So that's basically it. Number one, your vision or your path doesn't have to be socially or culturally acceptable. Number two is you can also be a pace setter in the path of your vision.
All right, thank you so much for that response. Thanks a lot. I'd like to add, because I don't think
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Praise. I think the moderator, she's having network issue. All right. Thank you so much. Please, I will want you guys to do something for me right now. Whatever you've learned during this section, please, I want you to go to Instagram, post something about it, go to your social media, and I do just post something about it, write something, tag Dan Olubumi. On Instagram is Dan Olubumi. Just search Dan Olubumi. Follow him. I'm very sure he will follow you back. Follow him. Post something you've learned. Tag him there. Please, I will just want every one of us to do that. I believe every one of us are on Instagram. So go and drop something you learned from that section. Please, it's very important. And also, I've dropped some link on this on the chat box about the link that can take us to the podcast, the Discovering You podcast. So please, I want us to go and click it. If you are using Apple, Apple phone, you will see it there. If you are using Android as well, you will see it there. It's available on Apple Podcast, it's available on Spotify, It's available on Amazon Music. It's available on our host to the Buzzsprout. So please, let's make sure we do that. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. I believe you've learned something. Please, it's very important that it's not just about learning and having head knowledge. Everything you've written down, everything that you've been impacted with, please let's take action on it. I believe that there are a lot of things we've received that we can start with right now. So, and that's the essence, that's the goal, so that at the end of the day, you also can be an agent of transformation to some people, and then you'll be able to answer some people's questions too, because the truth of the matter is that the generation we have now, there are some generation that's still coming after us that will be the one to answer their questions as well. So please, let's make sure that we develop ourselves with good capacity, we invest in ourselves, we didn't forget everything we've learned. Thank you so much. And God bless you. I want to appreciate everybody. I want to especially appreciate all my friends that participated in these programs. I want to appreciate, my brother too is on this program. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. I can't, if I want to begin to mention names, in fact, I have to mention the names of everybody on this platform. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm so grateful. All right. Is there a question?
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
In the
Good
chat
evening.
box directed to Dumomi.
Yeah, and I quickly want to answer it.
Yeah, good evening.
The question is, should you still take big steps even when you are not fully prepared for the big stage? The thing is, what big stage is, it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing. So like, if you know that you are not ready, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. If you think that it is it's a big step, look for somebody who has done what you are looking to do, or what is looking so big. And that's one thing I usually do. You can go and meet them if the person is in close proximity with you. How did you do it? Ask questions. The thing is, what you think is big, at the end of the day, it might not be all that. It might not be that humongous as you thought. So like, it's a mind thing. Just say, okay, yeah, it's in my mind, but in reality, it might not be as huge as it was. Look for somebody who has tread that path, and ask them questions. Ask them, how did you go about it? Just look for someone who has gone ahead of you. I think it makes it easier. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you very much, Mommy. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much to our convener, and thanks for staying up till now. Thank you, everyone, for staying up till now. So yes, I would like us to celebrate the convener. Today is his birthday, and he thought it's best to grant us this beautiful opportunity to learn. Left to me, I'll say this is a very, very beautiful gift. Thank you so much for giving us this, and happy birthday. Please, can we celebrate him in the chat box? Happy birthday. And just wish him well and say thank you for giving us this opportunity to learn. And like he said, let's put everything that we have learned to this for the coming generation. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a delight. Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. So if there are any further questions, kindly do well to ask them on the group, and drop the things that you have learned, post it on Instagram, post it on your WhatsApp statuses. Please let others know what you have learned. And yes, subscribe for the podcast. Sign up. It's going to be a very amazing ride. This massive. Now imagine the podcast. Imagine how much more you would learn from listening over and over again. So watch out. Thank you. Mr. Femi.
All right, thank you so much. So we've come to the end of this program. All right, see you guys later. Please don't forget to go to the Instagram and follow Dan Olubumi and tag him on anything you are going to post. Thank you so much. It's Dan Olubomin on the Instagram. Thank you so much.
And have a wonderful night ahead.